You've got 25 seconds to cast your crowd favorite vote. All right. All right, help me, guys. The 24-hour Citizen Project ends and begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Raise your glasses in the air. Welcome to the 24-hour Citizen Project. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. We have been working very hard since April 1st to get the right people at the same place at the same time to make things happen in the community. And part of that effort, thanks guys, part of that effort is identifying our public spaces and talking about them in a way that we've never done before, or a way that's a little bit rare, and that is identifying our community as a loving place. And so the question that we've been asking ourselves for many, many years is, how do we convert ideas into action, and how do we convert unengaged citizens into those that are engaged and love the community that they live in? So what we do is we throw a party. That's what this is essentially. And at that party, what we do is we're strategic in who we invite, right? Just like any party that you would host at your own house. So the first thing that we do is we invite people that have great ideas, people that have the ability to pursue those ideas, and we ask them to form a team, and we call them a citizen team. And we tell them to come to a place. And then what we do is we say, teams, what do you need to push your idea forward? And so the answer is usually subject matter experts. So we invite subject matter experts to come and meet with the citizen teams. And then the obvious third person that we invite are backers. These are the backers that are sitting right here. These are people that invest in the community. Give them a round of applause, by the way. These are people that invest in the community and judge the team's pitches tonight. And the fourth and final invite goes to the audience, the people that are here cheering on the teams and hoping to see their team fully funded. So part of the 24-hour Citizen Project is obviously 24 long hours. And so this event actually started last night. And what we did was we invited the teams and all the subject matter experts and key decision makers in the community to this room, and we put long tables out. We did drink some beer as well. And the teams shared their ideas with subject matter experts and key leaders in the community. This is Team Native Records right here, sharing their idea with the mayor. This is Crew de Kenai trying to figure out what their route is going to be and how the logistics are going to work out. And this is Team Art Canopy sharing their idea with Pat Trahan, a downtown enthusiast. And the night went on and on and on. We're all really tired. But what I could say is that the night ended with pure joy on everybody's faces. We were tired. We pretty much got into a big circle right here. We did this thing called cookie conversations where everyone shares how their night went and encourages the other teams to continue their pursuit of their project. So the first invite that I want to give a round of applause to are the citizen teams. They've been working long and hard for weeks and over the last 24 hours. So give them a round of applause, guys. And so we have a lot of thank yous throughout the night, and we'll get to them. But it's just about time to get started. And before we get started, there's a lot of people in this room, and there are 2 small bathrooms in the back. So I just wanted to show you how to get to the bathroom. Mark, could you play this video for me? Where are you? Where's Mark Whitney? You got it? He was in the bathroom. Go ahead and play it. Okay, so basically you have this sign right here. You're gonna take a right. This is me kind of talking to you, but I'm doing a voiceover. You can take a right. You're gonna follow the lights all the way into the back, and then what you'll do, you're gonna think you're going left, but you're not. You just kind of like go to the right, and don't go straight. You might trip over the bathroom sign there. There are some stairs that go right up the way. Keep following me. Keep following me. Yep. And then, all right, some other stairs. Don't go left. That's the backer's room. All right. You'll enter the bathroom sooner or later. Okay. And you finally reach the bathroom. Always knock. Because if you don't knock, then you might end up opening the door on your MC. So, yeah, that's a way to show you to the bathroom. But it's also a way to introduce your MC for the evening, Stephen Verrett, who, by the way, give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. We have one other thing to show the crowd, and it's sort of a tradition. This is only the second year of the 24-Hour Citizen Project, and we're already calling things a tradition. But what we do, anytime someone runs up here to give a talk, is we want to encourage them in the best way that we can. And we do that by all standing up. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're going to practice with Stephen, by the way. We're all going to stand up. We're going to play a ridiculous song. Mark, could you cue, what do you think, Stephen? My Pony but Genuine? Can we do that? All right. So this is called a tunnel, and we're going to do this with every team that comes through. We're going to create a tunnel, and even if you're like 2 or 3 rows in, we're going to do a tunnel. Yep, everybody put your hands up. All right. Now, where's my pony? Hold on. Where's my pony? It's coming. Hold on, Stephen. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Hey, Stephen. Okay, crank that up a little bit. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. Hold on, Stephen. All right, everybody put your hands up and welcome Stephen Verrett to the stage.
Hello, everyone. I just want to let you guys know I have a master in ceremonies. I went to school with ceremonies. So this is going to be fun. All right, so got to turn the page. I want to talk about a couple things. T-shirt sales. If you guys see all of us in these cool T-shirts, you can't get this one. It's from last year, but there's a red one and a brown one. Red like Butch has on, brown like this. And all the T-shirt sales help to kind of keep this thing going and help fund, all the money that we put into this project. So if you guys are interested, they're over there in the corner. We want to thank our sponsors. Butch, you got the thing? All right, thanks, bud. You can see them all up here. We've got Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Cajun Donut, Rev Coffee. I can't read that because of the light. Preferred Landing Solutions, Social Entertainment, Olympic Grove. That's me. Lafayette Science Museum, Jefferson Street Pub, Generation Greta, Gentry Supply Company, Pixis, Opportunity Machine, Target, and we also want to thank Southern Screen for loaning us this projector. So last but not least, we'd like to introduce our backers. Without these people, we definitely couldn't make this event happen. When I call your name, please stand and let everybody cheer and clap for you. Be a good time. All right. It's going to embarrass everyone. We've got Will Lumbar from CGI.
Go ahead, stand up, Will.
We got Patrick LeBeau from the 705.
I see you, Patrick.
We've got Frankie Russo from Potenza. And we've got Michelle Moran from Precision Rehabilitation. You got to stand, Michelle. Everyone's doing it. It's a cool thing. All right, and we've got Jeremy Broussard from the 705. We've got Levi Kastner from Timish Kastner Insurance. Did I say that right?
You got it.
Nailed it. We've got Cade Evans from Allen and Gooch. Let's give them all a round of applause again, everybody. So we want to talk about last year's projects and kind of where they are today, kind of a little history thing of what happened. So we've got the first team is going to be, the first fully funded project that we hear from is the Bus Stop Project, led by team leaders Brittany Broussard and Kate Durio. The team was funded $5,000 during the 24-hour citizen project in 2016 to build a bus stop shelter prototype with potential of being replicated. Sorry, that's a tough word.
No, it's okay.
So, Butch, do we want to? Are they going to talk about it, or are we just going to keep reading these things?
No, keep going.
You're next, though. So.
Okay. Well, so is Brittany Broussard, Kate Durio here?
They're right there.
Present on your 2016 projects. Come on up, guys.
All right.
So one thing that we do as projects are funded every year is we have past projects show up the event at the next year's event and talk about their project progress and whether or not their project was completed. It's a way of holding them accountable, but it's also a good way of finding out what's going on with their project. So let's give it up for Brittany Broussard, Kate Durio with the Bus Stop Project.
So last year we pitched the project, which was, to be able for us to be able to do research and development for a portable, easily replicated, sustainable bus stop at locations throughout the city. So have you seen things like this? Throughout Lafayette, we have 570 bus stops. Only 5% of those actually have a shelter. Many places have bus stops like this, and people can get wet as they're going along. So we wanted to create a modular system, and we developed the umbrella as a part of the shelter. And last year, we brought into examples like this that are throughout the nation, as far as for Mobile, Alabama has one as well. And our goal was to create a structure that was replicated, affordable, sustainable, low maintenance, recognizable, and reflective of our culture. We wanted to bring in colors and parts of our culture to help match the routes that are throughout the bus stops, throughout the bus routes. And so we have, since then, have been working with Lafayette Transit System and community members to improve our bus stops over the last 18 months. We want to make sure that we approach this in a holistic manner to make sure that we're doing the right thing and not just putting bus shelters up, and making sure that we're looking at all aspects of it. So together, we came together to have a prototype put together. This is our old. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go back to what we've done since then. So after last year, we did get together with the city, and the mayor gave us his blessing and provided a structural engineer to our group to go ahead and help us draw up the drawings. Since then, we've reached out to the public, and we've added both an architect and structural engineer, of course, an artist. And throughout that, our plan has evolved, and it actually meets the culture and looks better than what we originally created. So we have, we had drawings and some sketches of what the prototype has evolved to. Instead of it being an umbrella structure, it's going to maybe look like a tree or have rocks and something that's more nature. It looks good in nature and more aesthetic. And so we have met with vendors to figure out materials, and then by August we'll have all the drawings done so we can actually put a model together and go out and test it. And our goal is starting in 2019 to put 100 bus stops out each year over 5 years. So we have the support of the mayor, of the city, and of Lafayette Transit System, so we definitely think we'll be able to move this forward as we go along.
All right. That's what happens when you talk too loud. So our second fully funded project from last year, Adrian Perron couldn't make it tonight, but it is a special project that was near and dear to a lot of the backers' hearts last year. It was called the Recovery Garden, and basically it was a community garden taken on by clients of Acadiana Recovery Center. And so since last year, they've installed a garden, and all of the crops from the garden go to feed the hungry at St. Joseph's Diner. So that garden has been going on, and we're really proud of that one. And Adrian wanted me to thank the backers from last year and thank the audience for all their support over the last year. So let's give it up for Adrian, even though he's not here.
Our third project is led by team leader Asher Corbel. Did I say that right, too? I think so. He's a 16-year-old from Shreveport, Louisiana. Was funded $1,000 to pursue his vision for the arts. Asher paired up with local artist Susan David, who feels Asher's love for the arts needs to be cultivated. All right, Asher, where you at? I saw you a second ago. Here you go. Hey, bud.
Give it up for Asher.
Thank you, thank you. All right, wait. All right. Wait. Okay. All right. So last time I talked to you guys, we didn't really have a location or anything, but now we have what is it, an LPTFA building? A building owned by LPTFA. It's on South Buchanan. It's right next to the Levy Skate Place, Firefly, a couple other local businesses, and we're pretty excited about it. So at the location, this is the spot. We have all of these warehouse doors in this alleyway. They're about 20 feet tall, about 10 feet wide, and yeah. So cleanup, this is a pretty nice action shot of me and Butch out there putting in work. Oh, Jesus. I apologize. So yeah, we went out there, we power washed, we began priming all the doors to get them ready to get paint on them. So we haven't gotten any art on the walls yet. We have started a campaign on Facebook. Check out our Facebook page if you haven't already. We started this and we got an overwhelming amount of support from you, the community. Thank you very much. And we've got a couple of submissions for artists so far, and if you or anyone else you know is interested in painting on the wall, please go to our Facebook page. We have a submission form up there, so you can go check that out and apply to paint on the wall. Okay, so here are some of our rules. Keep it clean. Keep the wall and surrounding areas clean. Leave no waste behind, including cans or other refuse. Only apply paint to your designated area. Never apply paint on the ground or on other objects surrounding the wall. 3, keep your colors beautiful. No insulting remarks or anything offensive expressed in your art. No violence, no exceptions. Always buff your intended area. No buffing, no painting. Obey the art. Respect the other artists. Graffiti Codex applies. Your work may get buffed over. That's okay. It may be time to start a new piece. We're encouraging other people to come back, even if their works get painted over, to come and do new stuff. Work starts at daylight and ends at sunset. That's just so we don't get any confusion with local law enforcement. We can kind of monitor that and make sure that no one has any confusion. No prosecution ensues. Must have art wall card on you at all times. So part of what the money that we got last year, we're spending that on these little cards that will be in local businesses around downtown so that they can fill that out and have that. So if a law enforcement official comes by, they can produce that and say, I have permission to be here. So our final steps right now is we need an insurance policy. So LPTFA, the owners of the wall, they said, if you don't have an insurance policy, we're not going to let you put anything on the wall. So that's kind of our next step right now. But our time frame right now is about 3 weeks at the earliest and 3 months at the latest. All right, and last but not least, I really want to thank the backers from last year. I want to thank the community. And last but not least, I really want to single out Butch right now for mentoring me through this and making everything possible. Thank you, brother.
So the least we could do is provide a small token of appreciation for a completed project. So Asher, you have been knighted, sir. Is Susan David here? Come on, Susan, get on up here. Y'all, Susan has been an important part of this project all along and really mentoring Asher. So thank you, Susan, for all your hard work.
Good job, baby.
All right, Stephen, go ahead. We got one more fully funded project from last year. We had 4 total.
All right, the last fully funded project we'll hear from is called Safe Pass Underpass. It was funded $5,000 during the 24-hour citizen project last year to install lighting under an overpass that is part of an essential bike path, Mickey's Loop. Project leaders, Mark DeClout, will tell you that cyclists avoid the area because it's no longer invitable. Mark will also tell you that his project is about bringing the community together through accessibility to different areas. Here you go, Mark.
Thanks. Great. Thanks. So first, let me say thanks to all the backers. Specifically, thanks to CGI for backing the project, and thanks for your patience in getting it completed. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. This project came together following a campaign that we had last year with Forward Lafayette and preserving the bike lanes on West Bayou Parkway. Toward the end of that campaign, we did a community bike ride around Mickey's Loop and found that there's one area specifically right at West Bayou Parkway in South College that's somewhat dangerous, right? I don't know. I think you prefer to maybe get on South College to make it to Girard Park versus going underneath the underpass. But our pitch was about creating a more inviting underpass so people can safely get from a community across South College to Girard Park, to the downtown area, to UL, to places where our community finds value. Right? We're just trying to connect community, and that's what the project was. Here are pictures of a couple of bikers taking their lives into their own hands, wishing they should have used the Safe Pass underpass. A couple of them did, but this is kind of what it looks like right now. It's kind of dark, danky, you know. So anyway, and I'll leave you with this for a second. So after we got funded, we decided to try to create a private-public partnership and apply to the state for extra money to really make this project, something special. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we just heard back from the states, literally end of April, beginning of May, that our grant application didn't get funded. So, no big deal. We moved forward with the $5,000 we were granted, and right now we're in the process of engaging with Michael Cox, with land architecture, and creating a design that we can submit to the city to get a permit. Once that permit is given out, we'll be able to start the process of making that underpass a bit more safe, a bit more inviting, and more friendly and connecting community. We're expecting Now that we have an idea as to the amount of money we're going to be spending, we're expecting that the project should be completed by the year's end. We were dealing with the state and applying for those funds. Now we're dealing with the city, and so I think we'll go through that process. But hopefully it'll be a lot more expeditious in figuring out how to go about getting the permit and getting things in place. That's the project, and thanks, guys.
Let's give it up for all the 2016 projects, everybody. Butch, do we happen to have the crowd-funded favorite tallies?
We do. We do. I want to talk about it first. So we realized that that it was important that we have a crowd favorite vote because the audience does matter, right? So this is what we got. We did a Facebook poll. We released it on Tuesday. We had the project share it with all their friends, and we cut that poll off today at 5 o'clock. We've had over 1,100 vote tallies. And the crowd vote goes to, I'm just kidding. I'm going to tell you what happens. Okay, so we told the teams that there's a secretive advantage if you win the crowd vote. So here's the prize package. You get one of the Civicside 24-Hour Citizen Project issued medals right here. Yep, that's number one.
That's what you want right there, guys. You want that. God's here. I'm kidding.
Is somebody talking? Stephen. The second advantage is the team gets to pick the order that they want to pitch, right? Seems fair? Yep, okay. And then the third advantage, which is a big advantage, backers. So Civicside will be awarding $500 to the crowd favorite. All right, backers, so the crowd favorite winner already has $500 towards the project. If the crowd favorite is not fully funded by the backers, the team has 24 days to obtain the remaining funds. And if their funds are not obtained, then we take that $500 and we use it for a project next year. So let's go ahead and announce the winner of the crowd favorite vote for this year with 445 votes, more than a 200 lead, and that goes to Team Mybrary. Give it up for Ryan Cazares. I almost forgot about this. Congratulations, Ryan. All right, so tell us what order you want to pitch in.
All right. I would like to go first.
Woo! Give it up for Ryan. All right. So here it goes, right, Stephen? The moment that we've been waiting for. Cue it up, Ryan. All right, so you remember that tunnel? Remember that tunnel we talked about? Let's all stand up. It's time to hear the 3-minute pitches of the 2017 projects. Who do we have at the end of the tunnel? We got Team Mybrary in place.
There they are.
Come on, guys, come on.
Yeah. All right, guys. Nailed it. Give it up for Team Mybrary, buddy.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Cazares. My project is the Mybrary, the Musical Instrument Library. So let's talk about this quote here. Music is the universal language of mankind. So think about that for a second. If I play a song, someone in another country can basically understand the feeling behind the song. So that's why this quote was made by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. But there's a problem with this quote here. So we all dream about being rock stars, especially my teammates here. We all want to be rock stars. We all want to be famous musicians. But musical instruments aren't cheap. For example, an entry-level electric guitar with an amp could cost $150, $200. That's not including lessons and maintenance. So it's not cheap to commit to a musical instrument. The solution is the Lafayette Community Library. This is a place where musicians or prospective musicians can go check out a musical instrument, much like they can check out a library book. So we have already established relationships with the ACA, with the Acadiana Symphony Orchestra, and with the Lafayette Public Library. The way it would work is we would get instruments donated, or we would get money through the ACA. We would house the library at the Lafayette Public Library, and then the Symphony Orchestra would help us issue lessons to those who rent the instruments. So basically, it works just like a library, okay? You go to the library. Step one, check out the instrument. You have 3 weeks to play with it. You must sign a waiver to hold you accountable for it, and an adult must sign it. Step two, play the instrument, learn how to play it, take lessons. Step three, return it. Check out another one. This is our goal inventory. This is based off a survey we've done of 120 people. These are the instruments they're most interested in, and this is what we would start out with. How would we accomplish this? We're asking $5,000. Basically, 75% of that would be allocated towards acquiring instruments. 25% would be marketing, pushing it out to the public, and then also for maintenance of the instruments. We would hope to get most of the instruments donated. That way we can spend the funds on a wider variety of instruments. So let's talk about the impact on the community. Lafayette actually owned pretty close to New Orleans on Grammy nominations, okay? So what if the next Grammy nominee is in this audience but can't afford an instrument? What if the next Wayne Toops is in this audience but can't afford an accordion? Go rent it at the library. So think about the future. Kids can play instruments, they can check it out, and then their parents can then go to the local stores and buy ones and be risk-free if they check it out first. That's my pitch, guys. Thank you so much. I encourage the backers to fund us. Thank you so much.
All right. So now we're going to open it up to a 4-minute Q&A from the backers over here. I don't know if you have enough room. There you go. So let's hear from the backers.
Hi.
Hello.
What would be the length of time for rental?
As far as a timetable, we think we can get this up and running within 6 months. Probably, you know, I think a great time to launch it would be in the school next year. I think we can get that easily done within that time frame.
Okay. And how long would they be able to rent instruments for?
It's a 3-week, just like a library book. 3 weeks. That's correct. Well, yes.
Hey, Ryan, great job.
Thank you.
Can you elaborate more on the partnership with ASO and the lessons they're going to offer? Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So honestly, that's just something that came up last night when we met with the ASO. That's something that will hopefully be in the future. Not something we're necessarily prepared for this pitch, but what they promised us is a way to pair with a financial partner, and they would pay the teachers to teach the people who rent the instruments from the library.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waiver consist of? Because if a kid brought it home and accidentally broke it, how do you replace that instrument, and what are they responsible for?
Sure, that's a good question. So the waiver holds the person accountable for the cost of the instrument, cost of replacing the instrument. we realize there's a big hurdle with theft and possibly reselling the instrument. But that's what the waiver would hold them accountable for that. And we have ways around having them resale it. Okay, we can take the take the serial number down. We can mark it with a Dremel tool, lower the resale value. Libraries in Toronto and Vancouver and Seattle and Philadelphia have a similar program, and most of them have 100+ instruments, and most of them that we've talked to have only had 2 or 3 instruments missing. So we don't think that would be a huge problem. However, we do realize that the obstacle in hopefully holding the person accountable, having their information, their address, phone number, serial number of the instrument would sway them away from doing so.
Yeah, so one of the questions that I was thinking about earlier, not so much theft, but accidents happen, necks break and things like that.
Sure.
So is there any kind of like an insurance that you guys can have on the instruments for when that happens to keep the life of these instruments a little longer?
Sure. So we looked into an insurance policy that we could have on instruments like Lafayette Music and Sola and all of those have. However, none of the libraries have a separate, the libraries that already do this have a separate insurance policy. So it would fall under the library's umbrella policy. So that's how it would work.
Hey, Brian.
Sure.
Who staffs the checking in, checking out of the instruments?
So staffing would be at the downtown Lafayette Public Library, where we would hold it. Now, the staff wouldn't be responsible for maintaining the instruments. We have a partnership with the ACA, who has a partnership with Lafayette Music, and we would send them in to maintain the instruments between checkouts.
Let's hear it for Ryan.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. All right. So we're going to do this tunnel thing again. Let's get up. Let's go. Got to make everybody have a blast. All right, so we got a whole band coming through here in this one, so let's try to make this tunnel real tall. Yep, keep going. A little taller. You don't have to connect hands, maybe. All right, here we go. This team is called Team Native Records, and they're headed up by Henry Holmes. Yeah, that was awesome. What's going on, man? Here you go. Take it over, brother.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you all to Native Records. My name is Henry Holmes. I have been involved in the music industry for about 10 years now. I'm an educator, writer, composer, producer, all of it. And this is Native Record. Our focus is enhancing Lafayette's cultural economy through the production of quality musical acts. How do we do this? We give young budding musicians the tools that they need to be successful. And how else do we do this? We advocate for music education in schools. We advocate for better programs in schools. So we provide several different services. We provide clinics, educational seminars, workshops, all free of charge to the public. We'll go out to your school and do this, or we'll do it at a venue around the city, and anybody can come. Another thing that we like to focus on is helping musicians develop a business plan. Young musicians usually don't have a business plan, and they don't realize that music is not just a hobby or just playing around. It's business. Musicians, they are required to fill a certain criteria. Musicians are required to perform a certain amount, to say that they're active. And one thing that we want to do as Native Records is hold people accountable for the amount of time that they spend preparing, the amount of time that they spend rehearsing and playing shows. You can't say that you're an active musician if you don't play, or you play every so often. So what can we do as Natives Records? We can help people put on great performances. We can provide you with the artwork and the things that you need to promote your shows. And we also just do a bunch of different things as far as music goes. We write, record, produce. And we are, I have to reiterate that we are a very large team. So aside from the 4 people involved in startup, New Natives Brass Band, so these are some of the things we need, but what we need the most is your support, community support. This is just a small breakdown of how we're going to use some of the funds. It's mostly recording equipment. And we have a timeline. It should last about 6 months to get this project started up and running. But we really, once again, need your support. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, now we have 4 minutes of Q&A from the backers.
Over here. The musical equipment, where are you going to house it?
I am band director at Beauchesne High School, and we have a very secure facility, several practice rooms, several storage rooms that I personally have the only key to.
So will you set it up to do the recordings in there?
If need be, but the recording equipment is very mobile. We can take it to and fro, and that's kind of what we want to do.
Okay.
First, I want to thank you guys for marching at the March for Science earlier this year. That was awesome. Can you tell me, like, 6 months to get the project up and running? Do you have like an initial recording act that you guys are already working with that you would work with after that 6 months? Like,
well, actually, New Natives Brass Band is a recording act that will be on the label. Not to mention several people within New Natives. What's being played now is music that we've produced. Either my teammate has produced it, I've produced it, or one of these gentlemen right here have produced it. And we also just have several young, aspiring artists that we've been in constant contact with, such as a group named Swamp Brew, if you've heard of them. So we've been in talks with having them do some work with us.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Let's hear it for Henry.
All right, guys, that was awesome. All right, now we've got, well, let's let them clear it out for a second here.
Let's give another round of applause for the band.
Good job, guys. Now we've got a team coming up called Team Crew de Canais, head up by Rodney Hess. Let's stand up and get this tunnel going, y'all.
Come on, we can do better than this. Come on, put your hands up. Let's go, Team Crew de Canais. Bring it, girl.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic.
Well, all right.
So you hear those horns, you finish.
What's up, Rodney? You ready? Here you go.
Boom. Hello, everyone. I'm Rodney Hess. I am with Crew de Canaille. It's a walking parade for Lafayette. After I graduated college, I was one of the many people who left Lafayette. I moved to New Orleans. I lived there for 5 years, and within that time frame, kind of felt like Lafayette experienced a revitalization. I didn't come back to the different city. I didn't come back to the same city that I left from. It was different. And I was kind of jealous that I wasn't a part of that. But when I came back, I noticed that there was one aspect that didn't seem to feel that same revitalization, and that's Mardi Gras. Especially with the whole left on Friday not having a kickoff to Mardi Gras weekend, we felt it was important to announce Crew de Canaille. We're a walking crew. We are a parade without barricades. We want it to take place on the Friday night, like I said. We want it to be people-powered. The crews are independent crews. The floats are people-powered floats. We have a mission of ingenuity, creativity, and inclusivity with the goal of creating a really unique cultural experience that can't be found in Lafayette. So this is our proposed route. We want to start at Parc Sans-Souci. We want to come all the way down Jefferson Street. We want it to be a downtown experience. We don't want any barricades, like I said. We want it to end at Warehouse 535 in a big after party. Use that space to really show off all the different floats that people come up with. Total cost is about $8,000. Now what that includes is insurance, police force, cleanup, and that after party that I mentioned. We feel that we have the after party covered. We feel like we already have it covered, so we're only asking for $5,000 for the parade. $3,000 of that is going to insurance. It's our biggest chunk of change. $1,000 is going towards police. We already have police buy-in. We already have the city's buy-in, so we're good there. $500 for throws, $600 for permits and advertising. That's all we're looking for. We already have a few crews that have bought into it, so our funding is well underway. These are our crew dues that we're looking at. Pretty affordable. We want everybody to be able to participate. The way we plan on keeping it going, 501c7, it's a social club, nonprofit status. Again, that mission of inclusivity is key. We want to reach out to brass bands. We want to reach out to Mardi Gras Indians, trail riders. We want everybody that makes this culture special to be a part of it. Communication is also key. We're going to collect email addresses, stay in touch with people throughout the year, and have hype events where we announce the next year's theme for the parade to the community, but we need your help first. So that's what we're asking for tonight. Thank you. Thanks. So questions? I did that well, huh? All right.
For year one, as far as interest, what would your expected participation number be?
I mean, we're expecting a pretty packed house even year one. Year one, we're going to be a lot more relaxed than in other years. We're going to make, if people want to jump in and join in, they can. Year two is really when we're going to start enacting those more strict rules. But we have a plan to where the police presence can scale with the population that attends. So we think we're covered there.
I've got a question for you guys. I feel like a lot of your idea has to do with environmental sustainability of the actual event. And as we all know, with Mardi Gras, there's external vendors that come in that are anything but environmentally sustainable. So how do you plan on dealing with that dissonance that'll occur there? Are they permitted to become a part of the parade, or are you going to try to prevent that from being a part of the event?
We're going to prevent that as much as we can. We want all throws that we have to be environmentally friendly. We don't want any plastic beads. For example, the throws that we had in our cost are for little wooden doubloons that are stamped with our logo. Crowns that we can hand out to the crowd because we don't want royalty in our parade. We want the crowd to feel like royalty. Those are the things that we want to include. We don't want anything that's going to be a waste or end up as trash on the street.
Hey, Rodney. What are some of the types of floats you anticipate?
So the types of floats that we anticipate, it's really up to the imagination of the crews. We would have a board of directors that would have to approve of the float concepts beforehand just to make sure that it's family friendly, because we do want to make it, as we said, inclusive as possible. But anything that can come, we have such creative individuals here, and we have a skilled workforce, and a lot of the times those two things meet and it creates something incredible that I don't even have a vision in my mind as to what can come out of this. I think the opportunities are endless.
So,
do you have an idea of who your board of directors would be?
Well, we're starting off this year with the people that are included in the team. That's myself, that's Paul Q, Hunter Hebert, Julie Bordelon, Blaise Stutz-Peterson. Those are really the group of people that have been instrumental in this thus far. So I'd imagine we would be the first board of directors. And then it would work just like most other board of directors. We would, of course, set up our bylaws, but people would be, elected in and replaced, and that would all be figured out whenever we have to come up with our status. We haven't really thought through that much yet, but we have a general idea.
yeah, how would everybody here become a member?
So we're going to announce it. We're going to have a sign-up form online. We're going to try to keep it as digital as possible. I'm an online marketer, so it's what I do, and it's easy enough for people. If an individual wants to march, they don't have a crew, they can pay $50, that's it. If you have less than 10 people in your crew, it's a $500 flat entry fee. If you have over 10 people or over, it's $50 a person. So we can grow with the crews that come on, but it'll mostly be an online process, as easy as we can possibly make it.
Okay, did you have a question? Any others? We have time for one more.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Let's give it up for Rodney.
Yeah. All right, that was awesome. A whistler. All right, sweet. So we're going to move on to the next one. It's going to be called Team Pop-Up Theater. It's led by Danielle Moreau. Let's get up and get this thing going. I know we got some good hype music for this.
Hello. Wow, that is loud. Hello, my name is Danielle Moreau, and I'm with Team Pop-Up Kids Theater. And there we go. I do have a partner, but he's right now in another, doing a production, so he's not here, but his name is Shannon Miller. But what our pop-up theater is if you think of this, most adults look at this as a box, and that's what they think of it as, just a cardboard box. But when a kid looks at it, he sees a castle, and you could see what it's done from this boxes to a nice little castle, or an airplane, or a car. And so what the Pop-Up Kids Theater is an idea that got started in Orlando, Florida when I lived there. And within 3 hours, the kids will produce their own set designs, they will create the costumes, they will rehearse the play, and they will perform the play, all in 3 hours, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's very creative, it's very imaginative for them. And what we did was we targeted groups from ages 6 to 12, and we wanted to engage them in the arts, and we also wanted to build social confidence. And any kid that's interested in the theater only to explore their own imagination. And we've located some people right here in the area of Lafayette that we can target for these children. And I'm looking to contact Pastor Ken Lazard and contact Paget Guidry, the director of Lafayette Parish School Board. Our timeline, the kids would come for 6 weeks every Saturday. Now, they don't have to be committed to every Saturday. They just come one Saturday for 3 hours. So from June ending to mid-July, every Saturday from 9 to 12, and just give a 3-hour commitment. Where we're going to start in Girard Park for the first 2 years, and then maybe branch out to the other recreational centers in the area. Our partners would be Shannon Miller from the Stage Backers, Chris Martin from Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the UL Drama Society, Maureen Brennan with the Cité des Arts, and J. Wallace James Arts Academy. Our budget is $2,000 and $1,200 for park rental fees, $200 for background checks, $100 for liability insurance, $300 for printing costs, and $200 for materials and refreshments. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. And so we want to have the kids come and play and use their imagination. Thank you.
So how many kids are you expecting to participate, or what's the max number, minimum number? Or
In the beginning, probably start with a small number, probably from 10 to 20 kids, and use about 8 to 10 volunteers in the beginning. You know, not make it really big to where we can't manage it, but hopefully expand it as we go along. And hoping to go through, we did this in Orlando, Florida. It lasted for like 6 years, so we were able to maintain it for 6 years.
Great. And in Orlando, you probably didn't have Civicside, so how was it funded?
It was funded through the Disney Foundation and through Darden Restaurants. We raised about $2,000 for the beginning of it, and then it was maintained afterwards through donations and through people just coming, you know, as a group coming together and wanting to help out the project. It was called the Black Swan Theater. That's what we called it back then. Right now, I know. Right now, we want to call it the Clubhouse Theater. That was the Spanky and Our Gang little song to make it very, you know, we don't want to make it polished. We want to make it very raw. We want it to be just very imaginative, very creative, and so the kids can have fun with it.
That's great. And is it a nonprofit?
Yes. Well, right now, it's not a nonprofit. We're going through Stage Backers. That's our nonprofit right now where the money will be funneled through. But eventually, hopefully, if it gets bigger, we'll create a nonprofit for it.
Cool. Thanks. Danielle, does it cost the children anything to participate?
No, it's free to the kids. And they can bring their cardboard boxes. They can bring their sheets. They can bring, you know, crayons. They can do whatever they want to be able. And we'll be getting some, you know, materials and supplies and stuff, hopefully, from the local community and everything for donations to continue it on.
Any other questions from the panel? We got 2 minutes left. Who's got an audience question?
Sure.
Since you're targeting at-risk children, are you going to be going into the at-risk communities as well?
Oh, yeah, we're looking to go into the George Dupuis Recreational Center and the Domain Recreational Center. So we're hoping, we chose Girard Park as a central location, and then hopefully branch out to those areas.
Who else has a question?
How do you decide on which plays to do? Do the kids write them, or?
Oh, what we do, that's a good question. What we did before was we used nursery rhymes that the kids already were familiar with, and then we changed it around to make it really smaller scripts for them. And if it was really simple. If the kids didn't remember the lines or anything, we would be in the background yelling their lines to them, or we'd have teleprompters for them. You know, so again, it made it very just a fun. Think of Spanky and our gang and how they perform their plays. That's how we want to do this. And just introduce them to the arts, really. That's the main purpose of this.
We have time for one more question. Anyone? Let's hear it for Danielle.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bud.
Thank you, Danielle. It was great. We got time for a couple more, right? Oh, okay, just checking.
I think we got a couple more projects.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so now we're looking at the Team Acadiana Rain Gardens. It's going to be headed up by Scott Jones. Let's get up. All right.
Someone told me long ago there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so let's say it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. I want to know.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's for you, Bush. So all cities have to manage their stormwater, whether it's from a light rain or a 500-year flood. When water falls in Lafayette, it goes down into ditches and coulees and eventually makes its way to Bayou Vermilion. So in a natural system, much of this water goes back into the soil or back into the air from wetlands. But as watersheds urbanize, like Lafayette's is right now, more of that water hits hard surfaces and lawns, which means more of that water runs off. And when it runs off, it carries with it heat and nutrients and trash, and that causes a whole host of problems for our waterways. Now, thankfully, Lafayette has a vibrant community of people who are passionate about water management. And these are just a few examples. And we're really excited to work with these and other partners for our project, the Acadian Rain Gardens. So we're asking for $2,500 to institute a project that will help address some of the problems associated with an urbanized watershed, all the while bringing these different groups together for one common goal and purpose. And we have three major goals. The first is to install 2 pilot rain gardens, one in City Hall and one in Girard Park. And this is a rendering of what we hope the Girard Park site will look like when we're finished with it. Yes, thank you. So these gardens will directly benefit the areas that they're in by trapping trash and improving stormwater runoff. They'll also beautify the space. Our second major goal, at all of these sites, we're installing educational signage to educate the public on the importance of green infrastructure and water management. These signs will also point to a website that we've developed to empower citizens to install their own rain gardens. And that ties in really nicely to our third and our most important overarching goal is sustained action. So by making rain gardens feasible, by bringing these community groups together, and by empowering our citizens to create their own rain gardens, we're creating a framework for continuous action on water management. So by bringing plants, people, and place together, we're creating an effective and a long-lasting rain garden network. Now, right now, that network is pretty small. So there's 2 rain gardens on UL's campus, 1 in Vermilionville. Here are our 2 projects. But as this map fills in, our impact can only grow. So again, we're asking for $2,500 for this, mostly plants and signage, because we have lots of in-kind donations of maintenance and volunteer labor and a free website hosting, etc. So with this funding, again, we can install our 2 pilot projects by April of 2018, so next year, and we can use those to empower and educate our citizenry for sustained action on water resource management. And by working from the bottom up, over time, we will start to address the major stormwater management issues that this community faces. Thank you.
I got a question for you. Nice job. I would imagine that different types of plants are more effective at this type of treatment. What type of expertise does your team have in order to understand how to actually create one that is the most effective to achieve its goals?
That's a great question. So Eric Yondo and myself are on the team. We're both plant ecologists. We're doctoral students in biology who study plants for a living. Taylor Slowey is also on the team. She's a former doctoral student. So she's a PhD that works with the Institute for Coastal and Water Research on plants. And the director of that institute, Ed Terrio, is also on the team as well. So we bring a lot of plant experience to the table.
And one follow-up for you. How do you measure the results of a rain garden that gets put into place?
Right, so that's a great question. So for this project, our result is a future result of more rain gardens, right? That's our ultimate goal. But for specific rain gardens, as scientists, there's lots of things we can measure at the drain output, for example, or in Girard Park. So the amount of sediment in the water, the amount of nitrogen in the water. There's lots of little things that are pretty cheap and easy to measure that we could actually say are improving from these rain gardens.
How long have the existing rain gardens been in Vermilionville and on UL's campus, and how are they currently being maintained?
So the ones on UL campus are very recent. They put one in this year and one in last year. So they're within the last 2 years. They are being maintained by students, and that's a good segue to how ours will be maintained, actually. We've talked with the Office of Sustainability at UL and the biology departments, and they've agreed to send us students for service learning every semester to maintain these projects, even though they're off campus. Yeah, so thank you, UL.
It's part of the maintenance. You mentioned trapping trash.
Yes.
So is that like a weekly thing that a volunteer will come out and clean that?
So we don't have it planned that frequently. I think we can do that ad hoc. So if the Girard Park is collecting enough trash to send someone out every week, yeah, we'll have to do that because we want it to beautify the space, right?
Of course, and UL is the team that will be
yes,
out there.
Exactly.
And I had asked you this earlier, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell everyone. So you guys will be using native plants or local fauna?
Yes, that's a great point too. So all of the plants that we'll be using are native Acadian plants. So we want this to really showcase our region's native traditional plants. So we wouldn't be bringing something in from another region. Yes, it would be creating natural pollinator habitat and native habitat at the same time.
Scott, in general terms, it's real obvious to me that concrete obviously wouldn't allow water to flow into the water table or soak into the ground. Explain the difference between sort of a lawn, like we're looking at right here, versus that gardening project and how that impacts the water flow.
Right, so before this rain garden, there'd be lawn, there'd be eroding because of all the force of the water going by it. Lawns have roots maybe this deep, so they don't hold much water, they don't uptake much water, and they don't hold the soil very well. Native plants are adapted to this area. They're adapted, the ones we would use, to drought and flooding. They have really deep root systems, so they hold the soil better, they use more water, and they can tolerate drought without browning out like the grass does. That's one example.
Time for one more question. One last question. Anybody? Going once? Let's hear it for Scott.
Thank you.
All right. So, hello. We've got, let's see, 2 more. This next team is called Team Art Canopy. It's led by Bill Hunter. So let's stand up and get this thing going. Bill, you ready back there? Is this the wrong team? My bad, guys. I messed up. This is Simon Mann for Team ACDC. I need more beers. Sorry about that, Simon.
How's everyone doing? All right. Come on. Come on. Y'all got some booze in you? It's a little bit later. Yeah, you can do better. That's right. That's right. Now, y'all don't have a favorite yet, I know. But don't worry. This isn't me, by the way. This was that last team. I thought they did a great job. You want to give them another round? Yeah. Do you really? No. Well, see, here's the thing. If I start talking, they'll stop my time. Yeah, they started my time over here. I got 2 minutes. Really? Yeah, I need to start over. It's total. Thank you. Thank you, you all. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate that. My name's Simon Mahan, part of Team ACDC. We are pitching the public electric vehicle charge stations. I'm here to do 3 things. I'm here to amp you up. I'm here to shock you. And I'm here to jolt you into action. If I can figure out the trigger for this thing. All right, cool. So electric vehicles are becoming super hot. There's over 500,000 out on the streets right now. They've grown exponentially since 2011. Lafayette actually has an electric vehicle taxi company. Over the past 6 or 7 years, new vehicles have started coming online. You've probably heard about Tesla, the Leaf, all these other vehicles. The Department of Energy actually even says that by the year 2025, there's going to be about 8 million electric vehicles out on the road. So let's talk about charging stations. They do 4 things. 1, they increase public education about electric vehicles so folks start talking about it more. They reduce something called range anxiety, so folks that are worried about how far they can drive, they don't have to worry about it so much anymore. They enable long-distance driving, so whenever you go on tourism trips, you can go charge your electric car. And they attract business customers. This is the next Wi-Fi. When businesses installed Wi-Fi, they started attracting brand new customers because people wanted to go get the Wi-Fi. They're going to want to charge their electric cars at your business. This is a map of electric stations all across Louisiana. There's a big hole in Lafayette. We don't have a public charging station here in Lafayette. But let's look at some of those cities that do. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport, Lake Charles, Alexandria, Monroe, Slidell, Gonzales, Eunice. Where the hell's Vinton? I don't know. They got 2, though. They're beating us. All right. There are different types of chargers. We're pitching this level 2 charger. You can get a good charge in about an hour and a half. It'll cost about $5,000. The big cost is going to be the installation. You can buy a level 2 charger for about $500 online from Home Depot. So our plan, 1, we're launching an electric vehicle club. We already started. We already had our meeting back in June. We had about 30 people show up in Carencro. We're working with LCG to identify some locations. We'll purchase the stations. We'll support the stations. And then we're going to encourage businesses to follow this spark. We need to plug in Lafayette, and this is when it's going to get started, and we're going to do it tonight. Thank you. ended much better than it started. Yes?
Have you reached out to the wonderful cities like Eunice and Vinton to see how they were able to install their charging units?
No, we haven't reached out to them. I have reached out to other cities across the country that have installed different charge stations. The Vinton and the Eunice examples I just found yesterday because they got posted online yesterday. But a lot of the time, the businesses will actually pay to install them, just like businesses pay to install Wi-Fi right now. But the city can do this. We have a lot of parking spots that we can use for these public charge stations. And that's going to be the future. I mean, we're going to have charge stations all over the place. This is just the first ones. Yeah.
So after this, if this project gets funded and a station gets put up, do you then turn the station over to the city? Like, what is the long-term plan for the station that comes out of this?
Sure. So the city would own the stations. That's the intent. We would work with the city to provide the funds to buy the stations and cost out what it takes to install them. The biggest question that we all have, of course, is where's the 240 volts, right? Y'all have that question. I know you do. No, the city knows where the electrical conduits are best, and we need to work with them to find those perfect locations with good parking, high visibility, good traffic, and nearby retail so folks can park their car for an hour, couple hours. Wouldn't it be great if you all could have parked and charged your car while you were here tonight? So it'd go back to the city. Yes, sir.
Who pays for the electricity that charges the car?
Who pays for the electricity?
Who pays for the electricity that charges the car?
So the first stations, ideally, the host would pay for the electricity. So if the city owns the charge stations, they would pay for the electricity. I talked to some other cities that offer that service where a host offers to pay for it, and it costs about $2 a day. Look, the cost to fully charge your electric car from 0 to 100%, it's about $7. If you sit there for an hour, it's 70 cents. So it's a very low cost for these first few stations. For new stations, there may be new mechanisms in order to charge folks some cash in order to pay for those stations. But for these first ones, let's make them free.
Yep. So is there any kind of government subsidies that will help you get funded to add more stations?
Not for a city government, but for businesses there are. So part of this public awareness campaign is, one, to get the city to install the first stations so that the businesses can figure out how much it's going to cost them. And there are federal tax credits for those businesses, but not for the city.
About the Tesla stations, you'd said something about that earlier, but wherever you build these, you're planning on having a Tesla option?
Well, so with these level 2 chargers, they basically plug into just about any vehicle. The Tesla owners have a special adapter that would work with it. The special superchargers from Tesla will actually provide those to business owners for free. So a business owner has to reach out to Tesla and request them. You can get a supercharger, you can get a destination charger. They work great for hotels, but you have to go online. If you know someone that has a business, go online and ask Tesla to give you a charger. It only works with the Tesla, and that's why we need the public station for everyone else. Thank you.
Great job, Simon.
Good job, Simon. I got his name.
Stephen, this next project is for what? Downtown enthusiasts? Is that right? Who loves downtown in here? Yeah. All right, let's all stand up. Do the tunnel. Mark, I'm going to cue the music. Where's Bill Hunter? Where's the man? Give it up for Team Art Canopy.
Mommy, Daddy, come and look at me now. I'm a big man in a great big town. Years ago, who would believe it's true? Goes to show what a little faith can do. I was complaining, I was down in the dumps. I felt so strong now, but you pulled me up, pulled me up.
All right, thank you, backers. Thank you, Butch, Stephen, all the public that's joined us tonight. My name is Bill Hunter, and I'll be pitching on behalf of Team Art Canopy and basically trying to prove the value of creative interventions in our downtown. So I want to start off with a series of images, a sort of guilt trip, if I may, and ask, what the hell are we doing down here? What's going on? So I have a couple of questions. I want to gauge your reactions from the backers and the crowd. Feel free to yell out. Do these spaces look inviting to you? Is this a place you would go? Do they feel safe? Do you feel safe in these spaces? Would you feel safe going there? As backers or anyone else in the community, would you invest your own money into these spaces, seeing them like this? I imagine a lot of people here tonight probably don't even recognize this sculpture or this structure or even realize it's there, unless you walk down the street and were dripped on by it on your way here tonight. And for those unfamiliar with it, this structure is right across the street next to Jefferson Street Pub. The thing is, these spaces not only create safe havens for suspect activity and gathering of, let's say, informal suspect notions of what we should be doing downtown, but they prevent us from progress. They prevent us from gathering insight. They prevent us from getting investments that we need to move downtown forward. The truth is that these spaces can be reclaimed. We can act on these spaces very easily. We can immediately identify the spaces downtown that are providing these issues, these problems. Truth is that art equals value. We can prevent these things from happening. We can give value back into our streetscapes. What about this? Now, see, this starts to strip away those preconceived notions that this is an abandoned structure or that this is an unsafe space. It screams to you, look at me, I'm here, I'm worth your time and attention. Look what I can become. Look what I can become at nighttime, right? When I'm coming down that street, walking along that street, driving down that street. Our team's gone through a lot of iterations, a lot of ideas and options about what could happen to this structure in terms of the art implementation. And essentially what we want to create is we want to reflect the vibrancy of downtown, the progression of downtown. We want to move away from the traditional murals that we see that have really installed themselves and given a lot to the community. But as we know, and we're all here tonight because of partnerships. Partnerships are key, right? We've already been talking to a lot of the local business owners and property owners, and they've already started doing work downtown. Landscaping, painting of the structure, looking at the lighting, right? Looking at the maintenance issues and the drainage. Well, we're here tonight asking you, let us go another step forward. With $5,000, we can create the art, we can produce the art, we can install the art, and we can start to make a real impact and set a sort of domino effect downtown for other spaces that are unused, ultimately to get to the point where we have no vacancies. Thank you.
Bill, can you talk a little bit about the process you guys will go through to actually determine what the artwork is and who the artist will be that'll do the work?
Yeah. So to introduce the team very quickly, it's myself, Gus Resende, Bob Burhan, and Dickie Landry, who many people here will recognize as an internationally recognized artist, musician. Dickie is on board as our creative consultant, art contributor. As a designer myself, I will be working with Dickie to sort of come up with what we think will give us a sort of impetus to move forward in terms of the creative aspect of the piece.
This appears to be private property. Have y'all spoken to some private property owners? Do y'all have priorities of where you would like to?
Yes, so We've been speaking to the property owner as well as the lessees of that property, of that parking lot, as well as the structure being on that property. They are all on board, as we've illustrated with some of those photos, and you can see outside for yourself. They've already matched us sort of in kind with their efforts to restore the structure and bring it up to speed before the creative intervention would go into place.
Are there other ideas besides this bridge or this structure across the street?
As a designer myself, I've got 1,000 ideas swirling in my head, right? What we're very interested in doing and illustrating is that we can go into the ground with this in early October, fully installed, fully created, fully impacting a new experience downtown.
But other locations, I mean, have there
We
been
definitely want to look at other locations and also consider bringing in other artists that can start to identify places that they might want to intervene on. Obviously, as we pointed out from those images at the beginning, that was only 4 or 5 instances of the situation downtown. There are countless others. And in the long run, we would love to identify any opportunistic place or site that we could intervene on.
Is there a nonprofit involved as far as the long-term plan?
At this point in time, we have not identified a nonprofit partner. We will consider working with DLRBA, which is the Downtown Lafayette Bar and Restaurant Association, which has already gathered a slew of business owners downtown and already efforts to restore and implement better practices in terms of owning businesses downtown. Obviously, something that's come up very recently and being pushed by the current administration at LCG is the CREATE initiative. We think this could be a very obvious potential site for them to take forward programs of revolving art installations, perhaps. So we will definitely consider some of that partnership in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions, panel? We've got 1 more minute. Who's got an incredibly intelligent question? All right. Let's hear it from Bill.
Thank you, Bill. All right. This is our last project, right? All right. This one is called The Green Remediators. It's led by Amber Robinson. Let's stand up. Let's get it going. It's the last one. Let's get crazy.
My nigga, turn that shit up. CPT, LBC, yeah, we hooking back up. And when they bang this in the club, baby, you got to get
Pollution, contamination, brownfields. All scary words to the general public, right? Unfortunately, all of those scary words are commonplace in urban spaces. These days, though, we know better than to dump our old oil into our drainage systems and onto the ground because we understand the long-term ramifications of environmental degradation. In Lafayette, we are still learning from our mistakes, however, because that wasn't common knowledge at the time. However, brownfields. This is a picture of a brownfield site that's located in downtown Lafayette. A brownfield is a legal term for a site that is assumed to be contaminated due to previous use. There are literally hundreds of brownfield sites located in Lafayette Parish, and this is an example of one. Not only is it pretty much an eyesore, but basically we can't really use the piece of property because there's no because of the potential for contamination. But never fear, the Green Remediator is here. Dun, 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 dun. And phytoremediation is the greenest of solutions. So phytoremediation is a scientifically proven method that uses plants to reduce, remove, degrade, or immobilize contaminants from soil and water. And we, the green remediators, would like to ask you guys for $5,000 to show off this method in downtown Lafayette. So we've been working with some awesome people, you guys. Acadiana Planning Commission, Lafayette Consolidated Government, Trees Acadiana, experts all over the community to identify some sites that we could use. And these are 3 potential sites. It's very important that you understand, though, that this project is, we'd only want to use 1 site for this proposed project. So what's our plan? We want to identify the demonstration site first, and we'll be working closely with the partners that I discussed earlier, including UL. We're going to assess the site and get the soils tested all through the University of Louisiana at Lafayette for free, which is awesome. Then we're going to plant, and we're going to need all of your support to help with that planting. Volunteers will do that effort. And then finally, monitoring the progress of the project, which is very important for the data. Finally, we'll need to clear and remove the vegetation from the site. So our budget's $5,000 per site. We'd use that for signage, equipment, site prep, site cleanup, and plants. So this is a rendering of what the site could like during the remediation process, and it's beautiful. It really doesn't look anything like the brownfield site I showed you guys earlier. So we'd like to use this project as an opportunity to advance environmental progress, inspire you guys to be green remediators in our community for years to come. Thank you. Any questions?
So what's the timeline and the time frame? So how long to get started, and then how long is it going to have to be like this before it can be used for something else?
Sure. So we'd like to start implementation if we were right away, and we'd work with the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Dr. Paul Clerks, he's an ecotoxicologist. He's our expert. Not to mention Acadiana Planning Commission and Lafayette Consolidated Government to identify the right site for this particular project. I have to reiterate that it's a demonstration project, and we're trying to promote a cutting-edge technology that's used in all parts of the world, but for some reason not here. So it's a means of really showing off that technology.
Once the project is complete, what types of things would you like to see happen with the property?
So ultimately, we'd really like to see it become a green space or maybe even a pocket park. But at the moment, the sites that we've identified as potential sites are owned by private owners. So, you know, it really will just depend on what the owner would want to do with the site at the end of the day. Again, we want this to be more of a demonstration project to really show off to the community the potential of phytoremediation here in Louisiana.
Do you know if any of the owners of the current pieces of land are the responsible parties for the actual contamination?
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't know who the property owners are yet.
We do know who the property owners are. One of them's an oil company, one's a private landowner, and one's a church of those 3 sites that we showed. But we don't know who the responsible party is. I mean, we can't say that necessarily.
So maybe a follow-up. Like, is there a way to? These are brownfield sites based on the LDEQ, I guess, or?
Yes, and the Acadiana Planning Commission put together the maps that we have.
So if the current landowner is the responsible party for the contamination, and you find that out, what do you do with that? Like, so are they going to contribute to help with the cleanup? Like, how does that work? How would you engage with them in the process?
So the city has has said last night when we met with them that they would work with us to engage in those talks and try to enlist those landowners in this program that we're trying to implement. And there's no fine, there's no funding required on the part of the responsible party or the landowner. The landowner's liable whether they're the responsible party or not. So there are EPA monies that are allocated to the area. There's $300,000, I think. So once the landowner, if they are amenable to working with us, once they consent, that starts the whole process. So we do like remediation, assessments for remediation and all that good stuff, and then eventually plant.
Approximately what percentage of contaminants, roughly, are removed by this process?
So that's a really hard question to answer, but peer-reviewed studies have shown in other areas using herbaceous species, which is what we'd be using plants, that they have reduced the contaminants in the soil to below DEQ recap standards. So to standards that are appropriate for redevelopment or reuse.
Hi. How long would it take before the property could be used? So when the plants go in and then they take out the contaminants, what's that whole time frame?
So that's really hard to say because studies haven't been done in this area, so there are a lot of environmental factors and uptake of contaminants. But we are assuming from talking to Dr. Clerks and from looking at some peer-reviewed articles that it's a 2 to 5 year process.
We're hoping to focus on barium and nickel because Dr. Clerks has a lab, and that's the kind of technology that he owns to test. So those heavy metals are our focus. And we're also looking for low-level contamination so that we can show off this technique quickly. So 2 to 5 years, I think. I know it sounds like a long time, but it's an organic process, and organic processes take time.
Great job, guys. Great job. Well, Stephen, that's about all, right?
Yep.
It's just time to go home? Yeah, we're just going to go home now?
I don't want to go home.
We'll see y'all later. No, I'm kidding. So, 8 projects worthy of funding, all worthy of funding, wouldn't you say? Let's give a round of applause to the citizen teams. So this is that point in the night where the backers have a really difficult decision to make. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take 10 very quick minutes. We're going to go up into that room right there with the window.
Not all of us, though, just you guys.
Yes.
Okay.
You're not invited. They are. We're coming back here in 10 minutes, and we're going to announce which projects are funded and how many projects are funded. So go get a drink at the bar. We'll see you guys soon. Don't leave. We also have a very special performance later in the night, kind of a surprise. One more other thing, please buy a T-shirt. It helps keep these kinds of events going.
Yeah.
$24, it's a steal.
It is a steal, Butch.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have funded projects. Let's give it up for the citizen teams and the awesome backers. Let's go ahead and get seated and quiet down. I also want... Hey guys, let's move the chairs this way, and we're going to get the teams to come up here. I want all the team leads for all the projects to come up. Hey, let's create another tunnel.
Yeah, let's tunnel it up.
Let's create another tunnel for the projects. There we go.
Yeah. Is that everyone? Nope.
All right. Who are we missing? Line up over here, guys. Okay. Do we have all the teams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, over here, guys. Over here. 6, 7, 8. All right. All right, guys. So 10 minutes turned into 20 minutes, and I'm not going to apologize for it. This was a very, very difficult decision. And Frankie Russo is going to announce the first winner. Give it up for Frankie Russo, y'all.
All right. Well, I feel like this first one was kind of a no-brainer. We really looked at all the different projects, and this was one that stood out, mainly because it has a lot of legs as far as sustainability and working with in tandem with the space that it's going to occupy. And I think there's a really big need for this, and they have a great vision. So we're really excited to be right in line with the people, and that's why we wanted to give our first award to the Mybrary. Go. So don't try and cash this one. You can't bring this one to the ATM tonight.
All right, guys, we got a second funded project. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Ryan. Congratulations. We've got a second funded project, and Jeremy Broussard is going to announce this one. Give it up for Jeremy, guys.
The second project, we liked so many things about it, but I'll tell you a couple of favorites that really stand out for me, or a few favorites. One, it was measurable, really tangible. You're going to see it every single day. I think almost everybody in this room is going to see it every day. The second one, this came up a lot, was the powerhouse team behind the project. There's a lot of depth there, and we feel like that beyond just the start, just breaking ground on this project, it's going to go so much further. And that's probably the third most commonly spoken attribute for this project, which is there's an aspect where everyone can participate at home or at your work or everywhere else. So we like that extension into the community. So it's with great pride that I can announce that our second award goes to the Acadian Rain Gardens.
Would y'all believe me if I told you we had a third project that was funded? Why not? Why not? All right. Will LaBar with CGI is going to announce a third project. Give it up for Will.
All right. That's loud. So before I announce the next winner, I was asked to tell a story from last year's 24-Hour Citizen Project. I was on a team that pitched and was not one of the winners, and so this is it was very sad. And so this message goes out to anyone who has yet to pitch an idea and come and participate in this event, and for everyone who did an amazing job tonight, if you're not one of the winners, just to hear this story. So we pitched an application last year called the Yardley Army, and that was going to be that's right. That was going to be around Project Front Yard, where you can crowdsource like cleanups in the community, and we didn't win, but the idea took legs from there. And this past summer, a team of interns affiliated with CGI built the app for the city. The city partnered with us, and so it'll be launched. It's a minimum viable product of an application, but it'll be launched. At the tail end of the summer, and it's got a new name now. It's called Gnome Nation. It's cool. But ideas come from this event that I think get a life of their own, regardless if you're funded or not. And so I think that's a huge takeaway from everything that Butch and his team have done. The next project that won, I think, could not represent the spirit of what Civicside and this event is all about better, right? And that is, how do we create something that's for the people that we can all celebrate a part of our culture with, right? And so when we were talking about which ones would get funded, which projects rose to the top, I think that was probably the key ingredient, because it aligns so much with the mission of this event and everyone here who's supporting this. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It is the crew of Kenai. So come on up. Oh, there you are. Congratulations. I do think there was one potential caveat, maybe. I think that we're hoping we might be board members ex officio in some fashion.
Congratulations, guys. Let's give it up for Crew de Kenai. All right, guys, what a great event, right? All right.
Hey, Butch, we need to stop you for 1 second. Hey. What's up? It's me, it's not God, I promise. We want to gather all of the Civicside team members.
Another funded project.
Oh no, we have to stop!
I was going to try and find a clever way to say it, but there's another funded project, guys. What do you say?
Well, all right.
But I know something's coming, I guess.
Oh no, it was a joke, it was not real.
Before we announce that funded project, I want to turn the microphone over to Kate Durio. Blake Lagno. Blake, I'm going to call them both up. Come on. Come on, Blake. They also have a story to share that's important. Go ahead, guys.
Blake has a story to share.
We also lost last year.
But we persevered.
So last year we were on a team for a Lafayette emoji keyboard project, affectionately called Mamoji.
We got funding through LCVC in the interim, so that is launching next month.
That's it.
And phase 2, including a festival-specific emoji keyboard, will be for Festival Acadienne in October. So phase 1 next month, phase 2 in October. So be on the lookout for that.
So text that.
So the idea is that if you don't win, this event is a launch pad for ideas, regardless if you're funded or not, right? All right, Patrick is going to announce the final project.
So we're going to fund La La Land. Oh, sorry, wrong card. So Will touched on this a little bit earlier. It's really about participation, and we really, as Civicside backers and looking at the root of that word civic, it's what are things that can give back to the community? What are things that are civically minded? What are things that people can get active and involved in? And one of the things that we kind of believe in, the children are our future, to be really cliche. So as you could probably guess, the pop-up theater. Congratulations.
No, Butch, do you have any secrets? Because we don't have any.
Oh, okay, all right, good. Before we end the night, I want all of the volunteers that were part of this event to come up on stage. That includes the organizing committee, the selection committee, Liam Doyle, who's going to come right down the center. Come on, my brother. This event requires so much work and so much participation from people in the community. Pete Prados. We want to thank all of our sponsors. Ross Fontenot, thank you for this space. Thank you, Gus. JSP, our food and beverage sponsor. Thank you to our backers. This is an absolute incredible experience.
Yeah, let's give it up for Butch Roussel, everybody! Butch, no, stop. You stop for 1 second.
Okay, I'll stop talking.
We're going to hand this over to your sweet and lovely girl. You've got it. Yes. Here you go. Tell Butch.
Okay. I had no idea this was happening, but anyways, we're just so proud of Butch. I think he's a huge inspiration, not only to me as his girlfriend, but all of you guys here that are here tonight, representing Lafayette and supporting the 24-Hour Citizen Project. So, with further ado, here is a gift certificate to Tsunami. He loves Tsunami. And Taylor, I think Taylor has a few words.
And also, I think everybody here, whether you're here as a team, an expert, a backer, an audience member, you've been inspired to how easy it is to get involved in your community and how attainable it is to make change in your community. And part of that is due to Butch. And putting on this event to inspire and engage the community around us. And for that, we have some limited supply of Ghost in the Machine.
So this is that point in the show. Thank you all. I'm going to really use that gift certificate to Tsunami. This is the point in the show where we're so inspired that we just go ahead and commit to another event next year. What do you say?